So you were saying that after all was said and done, and you had the not guilty and had the threatening of the Lord striking you down. I mean, you said that wasn't the end of the story.
No. Here's where it gets weird, even stranger. The lawyer we worked for I think he made between 5 to 10 million off that case. Okay? And guess how much we got paid? 0. We got paid for expenses to go investigate it, and I think in expenses we were paid less than $1,500 just in expenses. None of it we pocketed.
Wow.
We got 0 money. And what he said was, investigators are great, and they're what really fuel the case, but I think they're only worth this much. So we did not get paid from that, and they made millions of dollars off that stuff.
How'd the guy pay for that case then? Was he that rich?
His parents had the money. They paid the millions of dollars to buy the lawyer.
Wow.
So he got paid well, family got paid well, and we got paid absolutely nothing. As a matter of fact, guys, guess what was released last year? A book.
About that case?
Let's see if I can get you a copy. Yeah.
Wow.
He made a book, and he was like, his compelling story and everything. So I wrote the dude, and I said, hey, are we in the story? And I asked my partner, and he said, I think we're labeled as Investigator 1 or Investigator 2 or something like that.
So you gave like pseudo names, like no credit, no nothing.
Yeah, we got ripped off.
And you guys made the case.
Yes.
If it wasn't for you going back there challenging these expert witnesses, this guy would have been done.
Guys, this is real investigations. This is what it's really boiled down to. We are the ones that actually do it. The lawyers just read a script, wear a fancy suit, slick back their hair with some expensive gel, and raise their hands.
Yeah, because you guys are doing field work.
Yeah.
If you're not out there, like you said, questioning somebody else, I mean, they're just going to go with whatever the DA says.
That's right. That's right.
Oh my God.
So we got paid ridiculous, but he said, oh, I'll have you guys do a couple more cases and we'll see what's going on. So my partner trusted him, and we did a couple military cases. We did one with a stabbing. I think it was between 2 Army Rangers. And one of the guys was apparently racially being attacked at the time by another guy. And they were both training in the Rangers. And
that's some serious dudes.
The dude,
Rangers,
the dude knifed him, like, as what ended up happening. And
Damn.
so they took him to court, and we won that case. And we had to go down to Fort Erwin a couple times. By the way, if you've never been to Fort Erwin, in current times, I don't know what they got going on now, but at the time, there was a lot of bad stuff going on because we did about 2-3 cases out there. And man,
where's that at?
Fort Erwin is in Barstow.
Okay.
It's a little It's a little outside.
Horrible base, huh?
They did politics bad, man, because like we would have court orders. We got to go on the base to talk to this person about this because they're going to be in court. Mm-hmm. You know how many people like, okay, yeah, you can't come in. We'd have to get a special something to try to get us in, and eventually we get it, and then we were followed the entire time.
Oh yeah, because it's like it's all military, so you got to get passes, permits, and everything's a block.
Yeah, nobody, even the military police channel, that nobody wanted to do anything for us. I have never gotten dirty looks like I got at Fort Erwin. And all we're doing is, look, your guy went in and did something crazy. We're here to check on the case. We're here to get his statements. He's got a court date.
You know what that sounds like? It reminds me of one of those, I can't remember, the Denzel movie or Tom Cruise trying to investigate a murder on a base or something, and he never could get past. It's always something blocking. You know what I mean?
Was it A Few Good Men?
Maybe A Few Good Men or something, but it's like a military investigation, and it's like it's hard to get answers.
Yeah.
When they investigate on
They
military.
don't say anything.
No.
They don't say anything. And as a matter of fact, we found out that the military police were actually hiding the guy.
Wow.
They were hiding the dude.
What?
We don't know where he is. We don't know where. He's not at his house. He's not. They were hiding the guy.
What?
They hit him up
That's
until
crazy.
the trial date. That's when we first saw him.
So you couldn't talk to him?
That's right.
Damn.
So you guys want to talk about some dirty politics? I've been in some dirty politics, man. I've been knee deep in the stuff with people.
Wow.
Yeah. So, and that's the thing. And I'm just going to go ahead and say it. Barstow PD had a police chief that they brought on. Well, she didn't play to their rules after a while. I guess it was too much for her to handle. She tried to get out. She disappeared, and we've never seen her since. They said that she's in Florida somewhere. That's it.
Damn.
$10 says she's buried out in the desert.
A lot of desert out there too.
Oh yeah, a lot of people buried out there.
Man.
They find bodies out there all the time. There's like, oh, this person was randomly found. He wasn't randomly found. He was killed.
Yeah.
Police killed him, buried him out in the
When
desert.
they say somebody disappears, that's it.
Yeah, that's what that
So
means.
you don't want to mess around out there.
No, no.
Wow.
I do not mess around with those guys.
Wow.
Absolutely not. But this has got to be brought to the light.
Yeah, yeah.
I was raised around good, moral, decent characters and figures to look up to. You know, one of them happened to be the $6 million man, Colonel Steve Austin. And Colonel Steve Austin always did what was right. And he really inspired my life, and he changed everything I thought. You know, he always was that moral compass for me. So when I did investigations, I took a little piece of that with me. So I was all about being the $6 million man, the best I could be.
So working in that field though, and seeing what you thought was quote unquote this really upstanding system that's supposed to represent the good and this, and you started getting into it. I mean, how did you come out of that? I mean, because you, like you said, I remember we talked about one of the cases where you said they knew somebody was committing a crime, but yet they.
Oh, I'll tell that one.
Yeah, tell that one.
So my partner and I were with a district attorney, and there was a guy that did some robbery cases, and he had a new charge. They said that he did this crime, and the guy was telling us, "Look, I did not. There's a guy that looks exactly like me that did this. I know it sounds weird, but there's a guy that looks exactly like me that did this case." My partner looked into it. He actually found the guy, got him to confess. Brings it in, says, "This is your actual guy. This is the one you need to book." And they said, "Yeah, we've known about that guy." "You knew about him?" "Yeah, we know. We know he's the one. We know that. But guess what? I'm looking for promotion. This guy's only worth this much. But this guy is worth this much." And brings me up to a higher level and a higher job. So you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to take that one.
God.
Wrongfully convict a guy.
Wow, man, that's crazy, man.
Yeah. And that's what ended up happening.
Wow.
And she, no problem telling us that, no fear, no anything.
This, you can only imagine how many people have got this railroader like that, man, and it's like, you know, what can they do?
There's not a whole lot you can do, because if they're working and pulling the strings and they've got the power, they can pretty much override. That's what ultimately I realized at the end of doing this, was that I can't really be a good guy. I mean, I am, and I will always be a good guy, but what I mean is I can't deliver justice to people, because at the end of the day, it's out of my hands. No matter what I discover, no matter how much proof I have, no matter what I bring to the table, they will always, always win. And that's what sucked. They always had that. They could trump card you in 5 seconds. They could make people disappear. I was talking earlier, they had child molesters, dozens of them. It was like a breeding ground for child molesters out in Barstow. There was one particular guy. He looked like forgive me everybody, but a homosexual Super Mario. He looked like Mario. He had the mustache and the hair. He just didn't have the hat and the overalls, but he looked like Mario. And this guy would come into the courthouse, the smile on his face, and he would walk in the courtroom, and he would leave. He wouldn't be in there that long. He'd get up and
Why
leave.
would they keep letting him go?
That's what I found out. So I asked about it. I said, "What's that guy? What's going on?" And they said, "Oh, he's a child molester." "Well, how come he's not in the back?" And they said, "Well, because he's connected. He's somebody's son." And so I would see him in a year, sometimes 10 or more times.
No way, man.
Yes. And he'd walk in, "Good morning. How are
Wow.
you?" And he'd, "Okay,
What
guys,
the-
bye." And he'd, yeah. I wanted to throw him under a bus so quick.
That's crazy, man. I'm surprised somebody's parents, didn't do something to him.
I thought about taking him out a few times myself, because, he would go to Little League games and soccer games and pick up little boys. That's what he did. That's all he did. Yeah, he was a creepy dude.
Wow, man,
I hate child molesters.
Yeah.
I hate chomos.
that's crazy, man. And they allowed it.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah. It's a business, man. There's a lot of business going on with people. So we've got to start changing things. If we trust these people to be our spokespersons for justice, for truth, the American way, whatever you want to call it, but yet they're doing business like this, that's really who they are, then we need a whole new everybody.
Yeah.
We need a whole new everything. We need to bring people in there
gotta
that are
clean
about
house.
that. Oh, yeah. Let's clean house.
Yeah.
Everybody out there, let's clean house. Get together, clean house, because we need a clean house. This stuff has been going on for years. You look at just not the law enforcement world, from Hollywood to all this stuff shows up. And nobody's doing anything
And the
about
thing
it.
is, nobody talks about it.
No, they
You know,
don't.
They bring up all the racial issues and all this, but this stuff right here, man, how is this going on?
Yeah.
This stuff is, man, this is not right, man.
Because in the child molestation thing, you're looking at white kids, black kids, blue kids, green kids, everybody's kids. They're all getting hit with this. Rich kids, poor kids, you name it. But yet, we're not protecting the children. Our job as adults is to protect children, period. And we're not doing it. And we haven't been doing it.
No.
We choose to, we will be worried about a dog starving. The dog hasn't eaten in 2 hours. Oh, he's starving. But there's a starving kid who's been molested for years and everybody
Exactly.
lays into the wayside.
Exactly. Exactly. I mean, I spoke at a high school in particular, and, you know, they were saying, like, the only time they get 2 hot meals is at school. And then they have to, basically, that last hot meal has to last them, and they go into an environment where it's very abusive. You know, maybe a family member's on drugs. I mean, it's just a horrible situation. And like you said, what is the outlet for these kids?
Yeah. Yeah. What do they do? And nobody cares. Like I said, they'd much rather save a starving rat or dog, some cheetah out in Africa, before they go save a kid, you know, in their own country, in their own backyard, in their own street. Yeah.
Wow.
It's ridiculous, man. So I have no patience for any of that. The stuff I've seen from corrupt law enforcement to everything under the sun blew my mind completely when I was out there, because I knew that the world could be a bad place, but I had no idea how bad and how deep it really went, you know? And I want to say, if I could say, that there are good law enforcement agents out there. I'm not talking about you guys. You guys keep doing a good job, keep being righteous, keep doing what's right, keep doing that. We're talking about the ones that make you look bad. Law enforcement is like any other job. You got good employees at Toys R Us, you got bad employees at Toys R Us. When you're working in an agency, you're going to have good and bad. And that's how it is. So let's get rid of the bad and let's uplift the good. Let's move them into leadership roles and let's fix stuff.
We're going back to working as a private investigator, and for people out there, you know, who have family members maybe dealing with a situation where they're, you know, truly innocent, or a case that's just, you know, covered in corruption, what would you advise them to do as in reference to trying to vindicate themselves? I know everything costs money, it's resources, and if you don't have somebody like you or your partner that was working a case, man, I know it's almost like a helpless case, because you guys question things that nobody else will question.
That's right.
So, you know, an attorney's just gonna, it's like, dude, I don't have the time.
Yeah. My answer to that is a very tough answer, because you're going to have to find a lawyer, an investigator that's willing to work with you. We even traded with people. My partner would be like, I'll do your case. You don't have any money. What do you guys do? Oh, we make paper. Oh, I have a printer. I need lots of paper. I'll trade you a couple boxes of paper. I'll do your case. That's what we did.
Okay,
That's how deep we were with people.
So bartering with people.
Yeah, we would do that. We would find a way to make it work. But like you said, most people, if you're not writing them a fat check, they're not going to mess with you.
Yeah.
You know,
If you're getting a public pretender, you can forget about it.
public defender's office is tough, because if they're not trying to help you,
Well, they're stacked too. The cases, I mean, Dude, their caseload, I mean, how much time, what do they have, if they have a caseload of 50 cases, right before they go into court, they skim through some papers and look at your case?
Yeah.
I mean, they don't really have the resources to do all that.
It's a very tough thing. I wish I could give people more hope in that situation, but if your loved ones get in trouble, I don't know, guys. If you don't have the money to get like a lawyer that's really going to take the time, or you don't have a connection to an investigator that's really going to take things seriously for you guys, I don't know what to tell you guys the way out. I hate to be grim,
Yeah.
but I wish I had a better answer. But I can't answer that honestly and say like, yeah, there's a way, because I don't know what game is out there. But the game I do know is if you don't have a fat check prepared for those guys, they're not going to take the time to look at your case. They'll just go through it, get done with it as quickly as they can, get what they need, and then there you go.
So in closing, man, and you know, watching your interview and hearing you talk about just your experiences, is there anything else you would like to leave the people out here with, as far as the viewers, as you know, as far as background, or anything that you think would be pertinent that maybe we missed?
Yeah, if I could touch on PTSD. I want to just briefly touch on
I remember
that.
we talked about that a little bit too.
Yeah, I want to touch on that because I have it. I have friends that have it. I've had a lot of people that have suffered heavy from it. And I want to reach out and say, let's talk about that. Let's talk about getting people help. Let's talk about people reaching out to people and not making them feel like they're freak shows or something like that. Because we have like this stigma, you know, about it. We don't try to help people. I know lots of people that have it and their jobs don't really do anything for them. Nobody's really trying to move things to get them the help that they need. They need help, okay? Because they sacrifice, military guys sacrifice for their country. Law enforcement people sacrifice for the community. So these are all things they've sacrificed to make people more safe and more free. So wouldn't it be in our best interest to get them help to make sure they're sitting right? Because they did make that sacrifice for us. That's really important. And it bothers me as a person that has it that I know what they're going through. I can understand it, and I get it. And I know how hard it can be on your families and things like that. So I think we really need to reach out, you know, and we really need to do that. Because I almost had a moment one time in a movie theater, and that's when I knew.
Yeah, and you know, even like, you know, I haven't been in prison, even though people say, well, you committed a crime, blah, blah, blah. But anyways, haven't been in prison, man, you know, I've had nightmares where I'm like, you know, in prison, I don't know how I got there. I can't get out. I don't have a release date. And it's like, it's horrible. And, you know, it doesn't make you weak because you go through that, but knowing how to deal with it and deal with it where you don't maybe, you know, deal with it using drugs or alcohol or other negative things, because it can fester over into other things that can cause you harm, you know, harm those around you. So being able to have that discussion, I think, is very important, especially for a lot of our ex-military coming home, having dealt with what they dealt with and now being ostracized or not, you know, feeling welcomed. You know, that's a big part of it.
Yeah, it's kind of like First Blood, you know? You watch
Yeah.
First Blood, like it's like 24/7 First Blood. But did
Yeah.
we learn from First Blood? Obviously not.
No, you're right.
You know, it was a huge movie. You should have learned that that's what people are going through. It's a pretty good depiction of like, you know,
Yeah.
how we treat people, you know, because you treat horrible,
That's right.
you know. And I also wanted to say, if I could, I was saved after my law enforcement time because I didn't know how to go about my life. You know, I saw so much nasty stuff. I was kind of in a bad place, you know, because it dropped me down. It was, you know, it was depressing. It was sad. It was cold. It was dark. People were turn your back on you in the law enforcement world. You know, all sorts of things like that were going on. My wife actually saved me. So get positive people around you. My wife was a positive lady, and she helped me, and had she not come in my life at that time, I would not be here. So I just wanted to say that to people. Make sure you get the right people around you to help you, because it makes a difference.
Well, Drew, man, I'm glad we had you on the show, brother. I'm glad we were able to connect. You know, thanks. Shout out to OG Silverback for making it happen. And you know, you reaching out, man, because we need to have more people like you on the show. It's not all about prison stories and glamorizing. I was the man on the yard and blah blah blah. Man, that shit is garbage, man. You know, we need to keep you guys out of prison. The people who are trying to put away the bad guys, you know, keep them on a positive note. And you know, this clean house, man. This clean house. So. We appreciate you coming on the show, and to everybody out there, make sure you guys subscribe, support, and leave a comment. And, you know, this is Big Herc 916, fresh out.